Hi everyone, welcome to today's Hangout on Air. I am Surajit Chatterjee, Director of Product Management for Mobile Search Advertising at Google. I am here joined by my colleagues Belinda Langner and Anthony Ho on my right. Belinda works on mobile search ads as a product manager, and Anthony Ho is product marketing manager for AdWords. A couple of weeks ago, we announced the global availability of our new suite of app promotion ads across Google Search, Google Display Network, and YouTube. Today is the first of a broader webinar series to show you how to set up these campaigns and use them to drive discovery, install, and ongoing re-engagement with your apps. Today we are going to do a focused deep dive on search ads. As you know, consumers today are using multiple devices throughout the day to shop, communicate, and stay entertained. And businesses are working hard to figure out how to best engage with these constantly connected consumers. We believe businesses need an effective mobile site to promote potentially to allow your potential customers to easily discover your product or service. In addition, many businesses today are developing apps for deepening their relationship with loyal customers or to address unique use cases such as getting a cab, checking your bank balance, or booking a hotel for an upcoming trip. Today we are going to show you how you can drive discovery, install, and ongoing engagement with your app using Google Search Ads. Here is a brief agenda for today. First, we are going to cover our new suite of app promotion products. Then I'm going to talk to you about how to drive installs with our new app install campaign flow on mobile search. And then Belinda is going to talk about how you can get your users to keep coming back to your app. And lastly, Anthony will look at some clients who have seen great successes with our search products for their app promotion goals. As you may already know, it turns out that almost 60% of apps have never been downloaded. We have met with a lot of brands and app developers during our research to understand how users search for apps and how to generate awareness about apps. It turns out most App Store searchers actually use the top categories and browse through the top lists. And if your app is not in the top list, the chances are your app will never get seen by the user. We think Google can actually help in this situation. A couple of weeks back, we announced the global availability of all our ads for apps offering across search, display, and YouTube to help you drive app installs and to keep engaging with your users and bring them back to your apps. Today we are going to do a deep dive into our search ads offerings. We have actually integrated app discovery as part of Google's core fabric. On the left, you can see an improvement we made to Google Organic Search sometime last year. These app-specific results now appear for both generic and specific queries. Users are increasingly coming to Google Search to look for apps. On the other hand, search ads are a great way to promote your app and target specific user intent. On the right side of the screen, I'm showing you how our new app download ads look like. Let's take an example. In this example, users are searching for a query such as hotel apps. And Hotel Tonight, who is one of our advertisers, is targeting this query and getting their ad on top for addressing users' intent for a hotel app-like query. We are going to demonstrate how you can create an ad like the Hotel Tonight ad here in just 2 or 3 clicks using the new app promotion campaign flow we have just launched in AdWords. Now let's deep dive into creating our first campaign. So let's get started by clicking on the plus campaign button on the drop-down menu and select Search Network Only. As you go into this, you'll see a new campaign type called Mobile App Installs. Select Mobile App Installs campaign and choose an appropriate name for your campaign. We suggest you name this campaign in a way so that you can understand or you can identify later on that this is an app install campaign. In this example, we are going to create a campaign for Google Shopping Express app. And so we are going to name it appropriately App Install for Google Shopping Express. Next up is actually choosing the right app for your ad campaign. So you'll see a drop-down menu with mobile app. Click on select, and then sometimes you'll actually see your app already listed here, and you can just choose, particularly if you are creating a second campaign for your app install. In this case, we don't have it listed, so we're going to search. We're going to just put a keyword like Shopping Express, which is part of the app's name, and do a lookup. And this lookup is actually going to look up Android Play Store and try to find apps that match this query. The top one is our right match. We're going to just choose that and select. Next, we are going to actually skip over the devices and location settings for the example today, but you can tweak them to appropriately choose which location you want to target or which particular network you want to target. By default, we are going to target search and search partner network. Next is to choose a right bidding strategy. Again, depending on platform, the default here will change. For Android, the default is creating a new target CPA strategy. We'll just go with the default and choose a target CPA of maybe $2. And then we are going to set a budget. Let's set a budget for like $1,000 per day for this app. And that's the first step. Click Save and Continue. Sorry, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. Yep, it worked. Next step is creating an ad creative, actually. So we are going to try to build a creative that kind of speaks to the user, and it also follows some of the guidelines we have given for best practices on mobile ads. So a headline, I would typically recommend putting the app name in the headline. So get Shopping Express, and then line 1, let's put some of the value propositions for the app. So find all products you need, and then line 2, deliver to your door today. And just make a note, we are trying to make this creative lines as full sentences with punctuations in the end. This is kind of the best practice for creating mobile creatives in any case. So we are done with building the creative, and the image on the right shows how the ad will look like, and looks good. Next is choosing some keywords for our app. Let's just go below. Okay. What we have done here is we have actually enhanced our keyword suggestion tool by using keywords that people use in both Google Play Store and Google Search to find apps like yours. So based on all those keywords, we have given a bunch of suggestions here. So we are going to choose some of the top suggestions like Google Shopping Express, same-day delivery, etc. And you can also generate more keywords by putting some seed keywords in the box above and doing a search. And that will generate more suggestions for you, more relevant suggestions for you. We'll highly recommend putting as many good keywords as possible to be able to reach as many users as possible who are actually looking for apps like yours. With that, we have chosen the keywords, and then we'll save the ad group. And that's kind of the last step. So this screen just shows that you have successfully created a Google Shopping Express app install campaign, which is the app that we are trying to promote. And conversion tracking is automatically set up as well, because on Android devices, we automatically chose target CPA, and it was very, very simple. So as you can see, it just took me 2 or 3 clicks to create this whole campaign. Extremely easy to do. And now next, I'll invite Anthony Ho to share some of the best practices for promoting installs with Google Search Ad campaigns.
Thanks, Surajit. Now that you've set up your Search App Installs campaigns, let's go over 3 best practices for them. The first is around keyword research. Here, you want to consider all potential sources of seed keywords, or keywords you'll be entering into the keyword suggestion tool to get more keyword ideas. Think about keywords that best describe your app, or you can even refer to your app's metadata in your app developer console. Take a look at keywords that might have worked well for your website, those that have performed for your standard search campaigns, for example, or look in your Google Analytics data if that's available. What you want to do is use the keyword tool to build as robust a list as possible. Once you've done that, test the suggestions from the tool on Broadmatch to capture as many relevant queries as possible. Your strategy should be to go broad initially so that you can improve your chances for success. Remember, these are folks looking for you and your app. These are people with high intent. They'll likely be a group of highly valuable and highly active users for your app. And finally, once you've gathered enough data from running these campaigns, identify top performing keywords, whether that means high volume or low cost per install, or hopefully both, and enter those into the tool to get another round of suggestions to test. And once you've built that strong user base, it's time to drive engagement with your app on an ongoing basis. You want to get those users coming back to play another game, watch another video, or even book another flight. To show you how app engagement ads work, I'd like to introduce you to Belinda, Lead Product Manager for App Promotion Ads.
Great, thanks, Anthony. Okay, so now that you have your app install ads running and hundreds of people are downloading your app, it's time to get them continually engaged with your app and stay engaged. Did you know that over 80% of downloaded apps are actually abandoned within a month? So in order to keep your own users engaged, we invite you to check out our new app re-engagement search ads that deep link into specific pages within your app directly from the search ad on Google. For example, let's say that someone has a Hotel Tonight app installed on their phone, and they search for hotels in San Francisco on Google. They can now go directly to the specific page within the Hotel Tonight app about San Francisco hotels, instead of being taken to the website or the app's main landing page. So we're going to actually walk through a quick demo right now of how you can set this up. So within AdWords, we get started by clicking on the plus campaign button in the drop-down menu and select the Search Network Only option. You'll see here that there's an option for a new campaign type called Mobile App Engagement. These are actually only for accounts that have been whitelisted, but if you're interested, you can sign up for our interest list in the AdWords Help Center, and we'll post the link for you to sign up on our G+ page after this Hangout. So just like with the app install campaign, we're going to go ahead and name this something that makes sense. So we'll call this App Engagement. Whoops. Also spelled correctly, or Google Shopping Express. Again, we use a name that makes sense so that we can find it again later. We'll go ahead and select our app. And again, if you have an app already, it'll be there. Otherwise, you can look up your app name in here. So we'll type in Google Shopping Express and look it up. You'll see here that we actually only currently support Android today. However, these apps will actually only be shown to people who already have your app. So every click is actually going to be from existing users ready to get back into your app. Again, we'll skip some of these options. You can actually choose to whichever options you want, but we'll go ahead and go to the bidding strategy section. For app engagement, we actually suggest that you use maximize clicks. This automatically sets your bids to help you get the most clicks within a target spend amount that you can specify. So that way you can send people to your app and stick to your budget. However, we also recommend that you set a max bid limit so that you don't go over a max amount for each click. So we'll go ahead and say that we don't want to pay more than $2 for a click. We'll also go ahead and set a budget per day. So for this example, we'll go ahead and set the budget to $1,000. So that means that AdWords will drive as many existing users back to my app as possible, but keep it under $1,000 a day. So we're going to go ahead and hit Save and Continue. So now that we have the campaign set up, we're going to go ahead and design the creative for our ad. One of the things that we can do with this campaign is we can drive people back to the app who are searching for things such as Halloween costumes. And Halloween is just around the corner. And so we're going to direct people to who are searching for Halloween costumes to come back into this app. So we'll go ahead and set the headline to Get Halloween Costumes. And we'll set, again, each of these will be complete sentences. Note that each of these are complete sentences, and you have a creative. So the next thing to do is to actually specify the specific spot within the app that we want to direct the user to. You can learn more about setting up deep links at the Google Developer website, and we'll go ahead and post the link after this Hangout. In this instance, the scheme is actually the first portion of the link that tells you how to open the app. This is something sort of similar to the HTTP scheme that you might have seen before in the past. It actually can differ from app to app, so make sure to talk to the app developer or someone on your team to learn more about exactly which scheme you should be using. Your app might use a more standard HTTP scheme, or it might actually use a custom scheme that's actually specific to your app. So in this instance, we're going to use the scheme shopping. Oops. And actually type it in the right section. The host and path is actually the specific page within the app that you want to direct people to click into. And so in this example, because we're directing people to Halloween, which is just around the corner, we're going to go ahead and set this to the Halloween page within the shopping app. Now that you've done setting that up, we want to be able to test this. So you can actually click on the Test This App URI button, and a QR code will be generated. You can actually scan this image using your Android phone with any barcode scanner app to ensure that the deep link takes the user to the intended location. So once we've tested this, we're going to go ahead and close, and we're going to go ahead and add some seed keywords that make sense. Start by entering a keyword that makes sense for the specific content within your app. In this case, because I'm directing users who are interested in finding Halloween costumes, I'm going to start by entering Halloween costumes. Click Search, and we'll retrieve some keyword suggestions that will make sense. Go ahead and select what makes sense for you. So for example, we'll go with easy Halloween costumes and cheap Halloween costumes. And you can continue to add different seed keywords that make sense. Once you're done adding your keywords, go ahead and save your ad group. At this point, you can actually click Finish, and you're done. You can also choose to set up some conversion tracking options for your app ads. We have multiple options available, and you can actually select the button to set up conversion tracking if that's something that you want to do. To learn more about the options, you can actually check out our Help Center for all the options that we support. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Anthony now to share some best practices on re-engagement ads for search.
Great. Thanks, Belinda. Now that you've created your search app engagement campaign, let's talk about best practices again. The key to success that I want to emphasize is all about creating an extensive list of keywords. Let's talk about the two ways that you can go about doing this. One is by looking at your app installs campaigns. Look at the search query reports there to see if there are any potential keywords that make sense for engagement. For example, say you're a food delivery app and you might serve an app install ad on a search for food delivery service, but you may want to serve an app engagement ad for keywords that describe types of foods. Enter these types of keywords into the keyword suggestion tool to get even more ideas. Another possible way is to look at high-performing keywords from your app installs campaigns. Don't worry about running duplicate keywords across these two campaign types. As Belinda said earlier, users aren't shown an install ad if they've already got your app. Next, think about how you can maximize opportunities with this user base. Run your keywords on broad match and use a maximize clicks bid strategy to reach as many of them as possible. Keep in mind the full value of a user when you're thinking about how much you want to pay for that re-engagement. And finally, feature a compelling reason or a reminder of why these users should come back into your app in your ad text. For example, you can promote a sales event if you're a retail app, or offer loyalty rewards to your valuable users if you're a gaming app. So there you have it, search ads that drive app installs and app engagement. But we didn't want you to just take our word for it. Many advertisers are already seeing success by using search ads to promote their apps. Why don't we go over some of these with you today? Let's take a look at retail. You can use your app to find great shopping deals in your local area. Christoph Hoyer Retail's head of mobile marketing was thrilled to see an efficient cost per install from his search campaigns. He told us, the results have exceeded our expectations. Google search ads provide high volume quality traffic for Retail's app with a cost per install of around $2. Next, we have Hotel Tonight, who've seen vast improvements in their volume. Mobile search has always been a strong driver of their app downloads. By using search ads for apps, Hotel Tonight has seen a 62% increase in mobile conversions quarter over quarter, with consistently high value from those users from search. Google has also been a great partner for Hotel Tonight in helping fuel their international growth. Since launch, international mobile search campaigns have seen 3x higher conversion rates and have become a key piece to their global marketing. And last but not least, I want to share Fafaria's success. They're a leading children's ebook app. They were able to expand their keyword set significantly by using the keyword suggestion tool. And by doing so, they were able to unlock 30% more app downloads, while maintaining a click-through rate of 3% and seeing a cost per install that was 50% less than other mobile networks. All three equally great success stories that really prove the value of these campaigns.
Thank you, Anthony. Please take a moment to let us know what you thought about today's session by filling out the feedback form on our Google Plus page. You'll also find a one-pager there of all the different ways you can use AdWords to promote your mobile app. Now, why don't you take a look at some of the questions that have come through?
So it looks like the first question is, does this work on both Android and iOS? So we talked about today a little bit about both app install and app engagement, so I'll answer them a little bit separately. So for app install, we currently work on both Android and iOS, and we encourage you to use that. For app engagement, we currently only work on Android today, but we're working towards an iOS solution soon, so keep your eye out for that.
Okay. Next question, how do I measure and track performance for app engagement ads? Belinda?
Yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and take this. Thanks, Surjit. So one of the ways you can do this is by integrating the Google Conversion SDK into your app for conversion tracking. You can follow the instructions on our Help Center for how you can actually integrate this. We also have some options that you can integrate some other third parties. And again, our Help Center has some more details on how you can set this up.
Okay. Next question. We have tried search and we have not seen much volume. What do you recommend? Anthony?
Sure. I'd first take a look at your keywords. Make sure that you've used that keyword suggestion tool to create a really extensive list that's relevant for your app. Again, consider all potential sources for seed keywords to enter into that tool. Then, when you're running these keywords, make sure you've set them on broad match so that you're capturing all relevant queries.
Okay, thank you. The next question from our viewers, our search CPIs are actually higher than other channels. Any suggestions to get better CPIs? So I just want to mention here that typically we have seen search CPIs to be much better than other channels because users have strong intent when they come to search and search for apps or queries that lead them to apps. But this can happen. I'll let Anthony go into a little bit deeper into this.
Sure thing. First, you want to make sure that you also understand the value of these users that are coming from search. They're out there looking for you and things that your app can do, and they'll likely be highly engaged and highly valuable. And see if that value per install really that you're getting from search gives you more flexibility with that CPI. If not, we recommend different things depending on if you're promoting an Android app or an iOS app. So if you've got an Android app, we recommend setting a target CPA bid when you're setting up your campaigns. If you're on iOS, we suggest taking a look at keywords that are giving you better CPIs, and then using those keywords and entering those into the keyword suggestion tool to see if there might be additional keywords that would be worth trying.
Those are great suggestions. Next question, what's your plan for supporting third-party conversion tracking?
So we're working with a number of third parties to ensure that their tracking actually works with our ads. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure to talk to your third party and make sure that they're talking with us.
Next up, do I need to have existing conversions before I can use Target CPA? I have heard these questions from many of our developers, actually.
Yeah, it's a really great question. I mean, we made a number of changes actually just recently. And so actually you can use Target CPA on our Android app install ads without any existing conversions. So that's why we automatically set it up for you right now.
Excellent. That's great. Where can I find reporting for my search app install or search engagement campaign?
Yeah, so just like your other campaigns, the Search Network reporting for app install campaigns and app engagement campaigns appear on the Keyword tab. You can actually see the number of downloads or the number of conversions or the app engagements that were driven by your ads and the keywords that trigger those specific ads to show.
Okay, great. Next question we have is, does deep linking work in my app?
So I sort of touched upon this earlier, but apps definitely have to be set up to allow for deep linking. So in order to do this, you can follow the instructions for deep linking within your app. It's actually available on the Google Developers website, and we'll actually share the link with you guys after this Hangout on the Google Plus page.
Next question, again, a popular one, I would say. What is the expected volume of app traffic? Anthony, you want to take that?
That is a great question. Traffic to apps really depends on how you've set up your campaigns. There's criteria like budgets, bids, keywords, and even match types. So please consider that when you're trying to assess volume. For engagement ads, volume, of course, depends on how many users have already installed your app.
Okay, great. Thank you, Anthony. I think this is probably our last question for today. You suggest using Target CPA bidding strategy for Android, but what about iOS? So for iOS, I'm going to just take that one. For iOS, we'll suggest that you actually use Max CPC to set the maximum cost you'll be willing to pay for an app install. With that, we are at the end of the Hangout on Air today. Please don't forget to fill out the feedback form, and we'll post it to the Google Plus event page after this Hangout. And with that, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's Hangout on Air. We hope you have enjoyed it and that you will start running search campaigns to promote your apps. Thank you.